right, so we are back from our break. Last we left off, our heroes managed to escape the Beastman war horde, the camp, destroyed the stone, killed Tarkag, and recently just survived yet another encounter with Mother Inga, where they received a boon. Marius was healed from his wounds as well as stripped from the supposed curse that was placed upon his arms. You found out some interesting little tidbits. Mr. Catch is nowhere to be found. Mother Inga doesn't know where she is, or where he is. And you both decided to leave the people you rescued at the Beastman camp in Mother Inga's tenderly embraces as she was clutching a ceremonial knife above their unconscious forms. Or hence you hightailed it out of her cabin and are making a break for the woods that you came in through. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. To defend ourselves to our viewers, I feel like she's probably the most capable of healing them, in some fashion.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I feel like if we brought her back to town or something, medieval healthcare, not the best. So
it's possible. Whatever whatever helps you sleep over the next few nights is fine. It's whatever you have to tell yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, all right.
It's fine. So you guys both who's in the lead?
I would assume Marius.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So Marius,
know these woods.
You're in the lead. You feel rejuvenated, even though you had a bit of a close encounter with Mother Inga yet again. Every encounter with her is a little unnerving, and this time she not only kind of helped you, but also put out a fair few warnings and whatnot. So it was an interesting meeting of the minds for sure. But as you step through the portal, yet again, I'm assuming that's where you're making a break for the portal.
Yes.
Yeah. So between the trees, you pass through. Seamus, you pass through shortly after, and you, Marius, immediately see the tattered remains of what used to be your prospecting camp. You're standing in it.
Oh, gee.
Poof. You appeared right there. The stream is next to you. You look back behind you. The doorway that was there from the trees growing together is gone. It's a little unnerving, especially to you, Seamus. This is your first time having it happen to you. As you look back, it's like, oh. And it's a little concerning. And you both notice that it is daylight out here. Time has passed. To both of you, it seems like 20 minutes, maybe. But obviously, some time has passed because it was just now starting to creep out daylight. The sun is well into the sky now. It's probably noon-ish, maybe a little bit later.
I look for Seamus and say, "Friend, I know it only looks like a few hours have passed, but it's possible multiple days have passed since we entered Mother Inga's home."
What are you talking about?
Last time Master Ketch and I were there, we rescued Miss Suna and the little girl Abby. We entered during the evening, and when we left, that what seemed to be that very evening, all of a sudden, once we passed through that portal, time seemed to have accelerated, and it was day, and multiple days had passed from what we were told from the townspeople in Seale. We were gone for multiple days, and they almost had given up hope that any survivors of the caravan lived. So it's possible not saying it is, but it's possible multiple days have passed.
I think we need to get back to the Civatagi.
Sounds
I'm
like a plan.
I'm ready for a big drink.
Go to the bar. Good plan.
It's our hub.
It is. It's your hub. It's your hub now. So, Mary, both of you make me a perception test. Marius, you will get advantage on this because you know the area. I'll give you a plus 20. Seamus,
Okay.
plus 10 for you.
Oh, yes. All right.
That's going to be 40 out of 50.
Okay. And for you, Seamus?
A 60, and that plus 10 puts it at a 61.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you barely pass. Marius knows the land a little bit better around here. So he's going to take the lead, but you both are on the lookout. I'm assuming you're both kind of on the lookout for beastmen and whatnot.
Yeah, I've got my pick.
Okay, got your pick at the ready. Is the crossbow loaded, ready to go?
It is loaded and ready.
Okay, all right. So you guys begin making your way. Marius taking the lead, taking the path that you normally take to town. You go back to where the remains of the wagon are still laying in the road from all those long days ago. It looks like much the same way it was the last time you passed through. It looks like it may have rained at some point, and the tracks that you saw the first time are now completely barren, but the wagon is still in shambles. It looks like it was beaten on or something in the past, and it's just in pieces. The bodies of the beastmen are not there. They're no longer there. Looks like they may have been dragged off. Possibly, you could probably venture to guess that they disappeared the same way that most of the bodies at the charnel field disappeared. There would be a good educated guess for you. But you make your way to what remains of the wagon, and you know that you're very close to town. Are you going to take the main path, or are you going to take a more direct route, maybe through the tree line back to town?
I guess the main path.
Okay.
Unless it's getting close to dusk. If
It's
getting
not.
close to dusk, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's like noon, 1-ish. Plenty of daylight, is from what you can tell.
Okay.
So you're in
Main
the
path.
lead, I'm assuming. So you've taken the lead, Seamus. You're just a few paces behind him. Mm-hmm. You're taking the path. 5-10 minutes pass. You're getting eerily close, and you start to hear rustling from up ahead. You both crunch down. What would you like to do?
Can I make a perception text, or can Seamus make a perception text?
Yeah, I'll let you guys make another perception test. I'll let you make another one.
All right. Mine's
I got
pretty
a
bad.
31.
I got a 62 out of 30.
Okay. So you, Seamus, you can hear the rustling after you both hear it. Seamus, you in particular, though, you look up ahead and you see movement in it looks like some bushes up ahead on the main path. Something's rustling around in there. You're not sure what it is, but there's definitely something there.
All right, I will yell out. Hey, show yourself. We take one of these bolts in your ass.
So you just scream it out?
Yep, I scream it out.
Go ahead and make an intimidation test.
All right. What is that? Does that fall under strength?
It does. It does, in fact.
Yes. Oh, I failed it miserably.
Yes.
Six degrees of
6
failure.
degrees of failure. You start hollering out. You start hollering out, and you see the bush just go still. That's it. What would you guys like to do now? Marius has stepped away momentarily. Seamus, what would you like to do?
Yes. I'm going to. Can I flank somewhere? Can I flank off to the left or
You
to the
could.
right?
I could say you could probably give Marius direction just to stay still, and on the road. And if you make me a stealth test, you could converge into the woods and get a good flanking position.
All right, here we go. Oh, that is a 14.
Ooh, good. Good roll, good roll.
Ooh.
So you flank off into the woods to the left. The bush is on the left of the path. And you're creeping along, and you can hear Marius. You've told him to kind of to keep his place, kind of keep his distance. And you start creeping forward. And you get to within about 20 feet of where the movement was. And you start smelling something. Smells like rotting meat. You're not sure exactly what it is, but it's a very strong odor of possible death. And you creep a little bit closer, and you see the remains of a deer. Looks like its throat has been ripped out, and it's just laying there in the bushes. It's been dead for quite some time, judging from the decomposition on the rest of the pelt. And the eyes are glassed over, and it looks like it's been here for at least 2 days, maybe 3. But you don't see anything else. You're not sure where the movement was coming from. And then you glance off to your left, and you see another bush moving off to your left. But it's moving not as if something was in it, but something possibly passed by it recently, and it's just kind of moving back and forth.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay.
Oh.
So, Seamus, what would you like to do at this point?
Is this off the trail? Is this off into the woods?
Yeah, you're right off the path of the woods, maybe 10, 15 feet off the path. Not very far. You can probably look back and see where Marius is.
All right. I'll probably just walk back onto the path then.
Okay.
And just kind of gesture to keep on our way.
All right. Marius, do you follow?
Anything.
I follow.
Okay. You catch back up to Seamus, and you guys continue on. It's another 10, 15 minutes at just a decent pace till you finally make it to the break in the woods that marks the edge of what will be Sealberg. You see what is the killing field, bathed, still stained. The ground is still stained with blood. There are still a few piles, though very diminished bodies around the edge of the woods where you're at. Almost in the same state as when you saw them last. Not much has changed, it appears. You begin walking into the field, and you can see the old wall, the pieces of the old wall that still stand, still crumbling stone. And you make it almost to the old wall, and you hear some shouting up ahead. You hear, stand firm! Do not let them pass!
Do I recognize any of the voices?
From this distance, you can tell it's male for sure, and it definitely is a commanding voice. That's about all you recognize. It does seem familiar, but without seeing the person, you're not going to know exactly who it is.
I yell out, "Please don't shoot us, brave men of Sigma!"
And at this point, are you guys going to glance around the crumbling wall at the actual town of Sealberg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's leading?
I'm gonna say I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seamus, you glance around the broken wall at the town of Sealberg, and you see that the everything seems to be in the same state as you left it. It doesn't look like a month has passed, as has happened in the.
Okay.
But the gate, the shattered remains of the gate, are still laying inside of the wooden gate that has been erected around Sealberg, and there are men standing at the gate, and it appears that there are remnants of the Beastmen herd trying to push their way into town. One last attempt, led by a large, imposing figure, wielding 2 axes, a large rack of horns, hammered armor around the midsection, dangles of human flesh and bone from the shoulders. And you recognize this as the Minotaur that you saw previously.
Damn it!
There are only a handful of beastmen left. There's a few gores, but the people defending the gate are in tatters. It looks like many men have died trying to hold back what was left of the herd. Many of the beastmen lay broken, but more men are dead than not. You see a few figures still standing. Atop the gate, atop the wall, there are only 3 archers left. Well, 3 crossbowmen. And 1 archer, which, Seamus, you will recognize the green cloak and the dirty brown hair dangling from underneath it as Angelica. She is atop the wall.
Ooh.
There are
All right.
a handful of men, but you, Marius, know that these aren't fighting men. These are actually boys. These are 14, 15-year-old boys that have been pressed into service, and they look terrified at what is happening. Looks like most of the fighting men have either died off or went on the mission with you guys. The only 2 figures that appear to be holding anyone back. You can see the red cloak and the tattered, used armor of Old Man Otto standing firm in the gate. And next to him, an imposing figure, the one bellowing out orders to the men, wielding a hammer, a single hammer, one-handed. His pate is bald and grayed on the sides. Figure imposing. He's wearing plate armor. It looks like almost an older kind of armor with the symbol of the twin-tailed comet embolized across the chest. And it takes you a second, but you are looking at Father Lichter. It appears that he has rallied the men, and he is standing at the gate, and he will allow none to pass. And they are currently combating a handful of gores and ungores, but the biggest threat is the Minotaur that is currently carving his way through what's left of the men. And he's about to make it to Father Lichter and Old Man Otto. You guys are about 100 feet away. So let me know what you're about to do.
All right. I'll look over to Marius and say, "All right, Marius, what are we gonna do?"
And so, the question. And so they're the way I kind of envision it. They're in front. They're not in the city right now. They're kind of in front.
They're in front of the remnants of the gate. There's like the charred remains of it behind them. So they're outside of the gate right now, trying to keep them from pushing into town.
Okay. And I guess like the Minotaur is up front, or is he in the rear?
He is currently in the front. He is about to he's about to engage Otto and Father Lichter in combat.
And the other Gores are kind of just behind him, trying to push forward as well.
Yeah, they're trying to push around the flanks. He's large. He almost takes up a big section of the gate, but they're trying to get around the sides, and it looks like the crossbowmen have been picking them off slowly but surely.
Okay. I look towards Seamus. Guess we should have another go, huh? And I grab my pick and my Molotov and and start moving in. I guess quickly, but not trying to draw too much attention. Not just like battle crying in. You know, I'm assuming they're kind of distracted.
They are. They are very distracted. So you guys are going to get one round, essentially a surprise round, to move as much as you can, and then do what you would like in this time.
Okay. That I'd like to do. So I'd like to move it in, kind of in their flank, as much as I can, as close as I can, as quick as I can.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I want to see if if Marius has any extra Molotovs, or if we have time to make any more.
Yeah, I actually I'll take the Molotov, and I'll before I go, I'll say, Seamus, you'd probably better equipped to throw this than I would. And I hand him the Molotov and give him my matchbox.
That's a wise decision. Okay. Yes.
And all I gotta do is light it and throw it. And then I just take my pick and move in. Yeah.
Okay. So you can cover 40 feet, so you're still about 60 feet out from the Minotaur. You can, however, use an action to dash in an additional 40 feet if you'd like, but you will not have an action once you get into melee.
I probably wouldn't dash
for this turn.
In. Yeah, I probably for the surprise turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'd move in for the surprise turn, I guess.
Okay. So you're still going to be about 20 feet from them, but the next round you'll get your attack. Just this round you don't have attack now.
Okay.
All right. Oh wait, did I say you were 60 feet from to begin? No, I said 100 feet. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
I'm getting confused here. All right. So Seamus, what would you like to do? Mm-hmm. Just move up the 40 and then.
Yeah. What would be considered the range for the Molotov?
So the throwing range, the optimal range, is your strength bonus in yards. So your strength bonus is 3, I believe.
Yep.
So you're looking at 30 yards. So they're within range. Because you're looking at if you moved up 10 feet, they would be within range, 90 feet.
Okay.
Hold on one second. That can't be right.
Oh,
that can't be right.
It says 30 yards or 30 feet?
30 yards?
30 feet, excuse me, not yards.
Okay.
So yeah. So you'd have to get quite a bit closer. For optimal, you can throw it with disadvantage.
Gotta get within 30 feet. How close is Marius?
He is 20 feet from them, so he is currently 80 feet from you.
All right, I'll move if I can move within that 30-foot range.
Okay, you can move 40 feet, so you're going to be within 60 feet of them. You could use your crossbow, but you're not within range to use the Molotov just yet. This is just the surprise round, though. You will get another round once we roll initiative.
All right. I'll pop off a crossbow shot then.
Okay, who would you like to take it as?
So the Minotaur's at the gates.
So the Minotaur is right in the center. You've got 3 beastmen on his right. It looks like a mix of, there's 2 gores and 1 ungore. And then to his left, there are 1 more gore and an ungore. They're pressing in towards the gate. They're all bundled together pretty close, trying to push their way through. It looks like they're barely being held back by the remnants of what is guarding the town right now.
I will take a shot at one of the ones on the right, whichever one I had the best angle at.
Okay. Is this a gore or the ungore?
We'll go with the ungore.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a ballistic skill attack.
Oh boy, here we go. Alright. I got a 60 out of 50, so it's going to miss.
Okay, you can re-roll it if you like.
No, I got 1 point left. I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay, so the crossbow, it goes wide because they're moving in combat. They're back and forth, clashing. He's got this little spear, kind of trying to jab the young man that he's fighting with. But it misses. It whizzes by. It doesn't hit anyone because you didn't fail that bad. But it whizzes by and plinks uselessly, probably somewhere in town.
Okay.
You do have your free action. You can attempt to reload now if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll do the reload.
Okay, go ahead and make an attempt to reload, sir.
Oh yeah, here come the bad rolls. I failed that reload.
All right, so you managed to get the bolt in your hand, but you don't have time to slide it in and reload at the moment. But there's always next round.
All right. Yeah.
So I need both of you guys to roll me initiative.
All right.
All right.
Is this a D10?
Yes, D10, and then add your initiative bonus.
I rolled with my initiative bonus. I got an 8.
An 8, okay. How about you, Seamus?
I got a 9.
All right. Seamus, Marius. All right. As the bolt whizzes by, whizzes past the ungore, the Minotaur turns his head, looks back at both of you, and there's a moment of recognition, especially when he looks at you, Marius. You see his nostrils flare, and he inhales deeply, and he just bellows out this throaty, massive roar in your direction. Just, I need both of you to make cool tests.
All right.
Jeez. 2 degrees of failure for me.
Yes. Would you like to re-roll that?
No.
Okay, continue.
I got a 25 out of 50.
Okay. All right. So you are fine, Marius. You feel, you can even from 20 feet away, you feel the pulse of air as this thing just bellows out in your direction. Seamus, even though you're well behind Marius, the imposing figure of this Minotaur is terrifying. And you are gripped with fear in your body. Let me make sure I get the stats correct on fear.
Could he use resolve to?
You can use resolve to remove it on your turn.
Okay.
So you to remove the fear condition, if you don't use resolve to get rid of it, Well, let me put it like this. You can use a resolve point to put it off for a round, but it will come back until you make a test to get rid of it. Because its psychological effects are a little bit different than your normal conditions. But basically, you need to beat a 2 success level cool test to remove fear. Right now, you're at -10 to all of your tests involving the Minotaur, and you cannot move any closer to it without passing the test.
Okay.
So that's how it is for now. So you have you currently have a fear effect upon your body. Just make a note of that. And Marius, as this happens, the Minotaur lowers its head and just charges at you. I need you to either roll for defense or a dodge. If you roll for defense, it is at -20.
Oh! All right. I'll roll a dodge.
Okay.
That'll help me.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. It's a 29 out of 26 for dodge.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's a marginal failure. The Minotaur lowers its head and just bull rushes you with this large rack, this large span of horns that it has, the 2 horns that it has. You see the big ring hammered through its nose and through its earlobes, and there looks like there's ritual scarring across its face. It lowers its head and just starts charging in your direction. Boom, 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 boom. And you move to dodge. You move out of the way, and you barely squeak by. You just roll, hammer up, and you're on your feet as he rushes by you, and he skids to a halt 5 feet from you. He turns with this menacing look in his eye and bellows once again and moves into range with you and is going to attempt to take your head off with one of its large axes. So once again, I need you to roll for either a dodge or a defense. Now you do have momentum on your side at this point, so you do have 1 plus 10 to your rolls.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness. I rolled a 26 out of 36.
20?
So 1 success, at least.
Is this a dodge?
This is a dodge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Oh, man.
No.
Do you want to re-roll that? Or do you...
Should I? Well, let me... Are we talking... Are you suggesting re-roll, or should I just add a fortune for another success?
Let me put it like, you know what? Let's just go with it. We'll just go with it. You're healed up.
Okay.
You're fine. Marius can take a hit.
I'm fine. I'll take this hit. Let's do this. Do this.
All right. So the axe comes bearing down, and it. Let me see where this actually hits you. Ooh, okay. It comes and you see it aiming right for your throat, and you barely move your head in time, and it clinks off of the side of your skull, and it gouges in deep. Doesn't break through.
My face?
It carves into your face a little bit, and carves into like your ear and the side of your head. It might have even taken a little bit off the ear. Not enough to damage your hearing.
Take a little off my ear?
A little bit might have come off in this. You take, make sure the math is correct on this. 17 points of damage.
Fuck!
Jeez.
You can, however, subtract your toughness bonus.
Okay.
Are you still standing?
I don't know. Am I? I mean, I am health wise. Yes.
Okay. So it's a grievous wound, though. I'm sure.
It's
how
pretty
bad? You look pretty bad. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I look pretty rough.
Okay,
Pretty
and
rough
I mean,
after that one.
yeah, it almost takes your head off in one clean swing. Just
Yeah.
and you're just and you fall to the ground, and you manage to stand up just in time to either make another dodge or a deflect with your weapon as the other axe comes swinging in your direction.
All right, I'll roll dodge.
Go ahead.
I got an 11 out of 26.
Okay. This time, after the terrible,
It's a crit if
wound,
that matters.
it does. Yeah, it does.
that.
No, you know what?
Okay.
That's a crit. No, it's with the dodge. If you would have tried to block with your weapon, you would have done damage.
I know.
Oh man!
I dodged though.
You dodged. You nimbly dodge, and I'll say this. Because it was a crit, I'm going to give you a chance to retaliate. So go ahead and make me a weapon skill, a test to attack.
Okay. I've got a 6 out of 45. Well, 55. Did I get a success for the dodge or no?
Yes, you got it. Yeah, I'll give you success for the dodge.
Okay. So that would be a 6 out of 55.
Ooh, man. So that is 4 degrees of success. Damn, dude. All right. So the axe comes lumbering towards your legs, and you hop. You kind of do this. You're not exactly known for your nimbleness, but you jump over the axe as it cleaves underneath you, and you see a gap right where. What's number 6, real quick? 60. Yep. Right in like the back kind of torso area next to the ribs. And you just hammer the pick home. How much you normally do 9 damage, correct? Straight?
Well, now I do 10 because I
You do
increased
10.
my strength.
Holy shit, man. Okay. 10 plus so that's okay, so that's 14 damage.
Question.
Yes.
Question. So for damaging,
Yes.
I get the second number
you
as
do.
the success rate.
You do. So
that
you
would
could
be
choose 6
correct?
degrees. Yeah. You can choose
I would
6
choose
degrees.
6.
Okay. Yeah. So that's 6. So that's 16 damage. Okay. So that's a pretty good hit. Let me do the math real quick. Okay, you dig in deep into the side of this Minotaur, it kind of lets out a howl of pain. You've definitely seized momentum from this attack as well, so you're at 2 momentum now. As you pull the pick free, and he squares up with you with both axes at the ready. It is now Seamus. It is your turn.
Alright, so to use resolve, is that going to take any action or?
No, you can just burn a resolve point and it washes away. You just push off the fear for this round.
Yeah. I will do that then.
Okay.
I can take a shot at this Minotaur.
All right, go ahead and make me a ballistic skill test. He is large. And he is within, how close are you now? 20 feet. He's within 20 feet of you. So go ahead and make it plus 20.
Okay. Alright, so I roll.
But with your minus 10, so that's plus 10. Sorry. Oh, wait, no, you got rid of the fear. You got rid of the fear. So
I burned the... I got a 27. And with that plus 20, it would have been out of 70.
Okay. Oh, shit, man. Okay, so that's 5 degrees? No. 20. 4 degrees.
Almost.
I think it's 4 degrees. That still hits hard because you do 9 damage standard. Damn. Okay, so that's
plus the success level.
Yeah. So you're looking at 13 damage.
13.
Okay. And you said 27, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, this actually takes the Minotaur, since it's now facing you. You take it in like the right pec area. Just boom, hammers home. And that was 13 damage. Subtract that. Whew, man. He feels it. You can see him just, and he almost goes to one knee. Just boom, boom. Now it is Marius. It is now your official turn. You see the Minotaur crumple to one knee. You're bleeding from the head. Seamus looks like he's got your back at this point, even though he seems to be a little shaken at what's going on. But he's firmed himself up. You can see that he's kind of dug down deep and found some Latin resolve. So, what would you like to do, Mr. Marius?
I reach up and like touch my ear. Is it whole or is it gone? Or is it gone?
It's there. It's still there. You're just bleeding profusely from the side of your head.
I touch it and kind of look down at my hand, and my eyes grow wide. I look up to the Minotaur, and I'm covered in dust and blood and stuff like that. So I just look at him and just and just like charge at him as fast as I can with my pick and make an attack.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack, sir. With your two things of momentum.
Okay. That would be 32 out of 65.
Okay, so that's 3 degrees of success. Let me see. Nope. He goes to swing to intercept the pick, and once again you converge underneath the arm. 23. And this time you take him in his left bicep. It just cleaves in to the bicep. And you deal
10 plus my success level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 3 degrees of success, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God. He is
dead.
Nope.
Oh.
It digs in deep, and you see a chunk just pull loose, and his left arm goes limp. But he's still, in his rage, is still standing. And he just kind of looks at you, and he squares up with you once again with just this firm hatred in his eyes. It appears that it's the only thing keeping him going. And he raises the axe yet again. But before he does, it is someone else's turn.
Oh.
You hear "For Sigma!" and you hear Father Lechter running. You can't see him behind the Minotaur. Seamus, you see the form of this grizzled old warrior, hammer held high, and as he leaps, the head of the hammer ignites. And this blue flame starts trailing off of the hammerhead. Smacks into the back of the Minotaur.
Oh, shit.
And this flame just bursts through the center of his chest. Marius, it pours through, and you have to kind of shield your eyes for a second, and the axes just fall limp out of the beast's hands, and he topples forward, dead. And as soon as he falls, the remaining beastmen, which there are not many, just and they start panicking, and they go to start running away from you guys. We are almost officially out of combat, depending on your actions. It is technically your turn once again, Seamus. With the Minotaur being dead, all fear effects are gone. So as soon as you see him die, that lump that was in your throat is gone at this point. It dissipates. And you see beastmen scattering to the four corners. Looks like they're running in opposite directions, trying to seek shelter in the forest.
After running away, I'll run up to Marius to see if he's okay.
Okay.
Seeing that wound he took.
Yeah. Marius, you have regained your composure, but you were hurt bad. Real bad. You see the Minotaur topple in front of you. It is now technically your turn, if there's anything you'd like to do. You see Father Leecher just standing there in front of you. He's panting. Go ahead.
Are there any beastmen within range that I could run up to?
You could probably get to the nearest Ungor with you if you dashed. If you just ran after one right now.
If I just ran, so they've booked out of like melee range.
Oh yeah, no, there's one within melee range of you if you want to, but he is fleeing actively.
I will go towards him and kill him.
Pursue him? You just is this like a barbarian? Just
Yeah, I'm upset. My face was cut.
Oh so yes. Okay,
I'm going to.
Okay, you easily, in your rage, and Father Leecher is, he's panting heavily. He looks like he's out of breath, but he sees you move and start chasing after the foul beasts that have been affecting this town, and you get the sense that he definitely approves. You easily cover the ground into the fleeing Ungor, whose eyes are just wide and panicked. Go ahead and make me a melee attack. It is unopposed since he is fleeing.
Okay. So that's going to be 34 out of 64. Oof. And I get the damaging, so I'll take the 4 degrees of success.
Yeah, 4 degrees of success. Okay. 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not a very tough individual. You plant this thing in his right arm, spins him around, and he's just kind of panicking. Not dead, but mangled severely, and kind of falls to the floor at your feet. For the sake of brevity, if you'd like to finish him off, you can.
All right, I'll take the butt end of my pick and just kind of grab the top of the pick, and just start smashing in his head. Take it and shove it in the back of his throat and just start bashing in his head,
Yes, this is disturbing. So he's laying there and he's brain and eyes are wide, and this is the Ungors. They look more human-like than the rest of the beastmen, and you are just viciously pounding away at its head. You hear as arrows are being loosed, arrows and bolts are being fired from the top of the tower at the fleeing beastmen. You hear a couple kind of screams and falls. You get the idea that not many of the remaining herd escaped in this last-ditch attempt to break through the town.
Good.
And go ahead.
If I'm walking back and I see any of the ones that are kind of in the last throes and still alive, from arrow shots, I'm going to finish them off.
Okay. There's one or two still kind of moving slightly. It might be just twitching, but I'm sure you just out of sheer aggressiveness at this, you just start stomping heads in.
Yeah.
Seamus, you are with Father Leecher. Father Leecher is, you see the look on his face, and he couldn't be more proud. You just see that he's just brimming, and just, even in his sweaty, battle-torn state, he's just full of pride out of what he just witnessed. And he just kind of nods towards Marius' direction as he's walking back. Sigma be praised. And then he motions to you, Seamus, and now that we've dealt with that rabble, let's get back to town, boys. And he starts trudging with a little bit of a limp on one of his legs. You get the idea that he doesn't wear armor very often anymore. And he's not used to wearing it, and he's not walking with as much vigor as you saw him in the heat of battle. As you approach the gate, you see. Go ahead, Seamus.
I want put my hand on Father Lichter's shoulder and offer to buy him a pint, the silver taggy.
And Father Lichter just looks up at you. I just might take you up on that, boy. And he continues walking. As you guys approach the gate, you see Marius stomp in the heads of a few twitching beastmen. They may have not been dead. They could have also already been dead. It could have been just been muscle spasms. He just has this horrible look on his face. You see the blood's trickling down. Otto goes to approach Marius and then just kind of backs off for a second, watching him viciously just stomp in a couple heads. Marius, my boy, you made it back, and he's trying to diffuse the situation.
Marius like darts his head up real quick, and recognizes Otto and kind of starts to calm down a little bit and stops his purging of the the beastmen.
Yes.
If he does notice it, if I do notice anything, if I feel like I see a twitch, I'm still gonna probably kill him, but I'll probably just use my pick. Like
got it.
A quick jab with a pick.
Yeah. All right. There's nothing that you can tell right now. It seems that all is settled down. Otto just, by God, boy, you have to start coming back to town like this. You just torn to shreds.
Yeah, I know.
And he reaches back behind him and he pulls out some bandages and just kind of like wads them next to your head. You should probably have that looked at.
I will, friend. Thank you. It's good to be back home.
Yes, of course. And as he finishes, you hear a voice call out, "That better not be who I think it is."
My boy.
And Seamus, as you pass through the doorway, you see the small squat figure with the upturned nose, the kind of silver doublet of Mr. Krieger. And he's just looking at you from a fair distance away, but he's slowly walking in your direction. It looks like he's flanked by what looks to be two soldiers that probably should have been at the gate. They are patched up, though. They look like they were wounded. One's got bandages over one half of his face, covering his eye. The other one has actually an arm in a sling, but he is still holding a sword in his hand. It looks like they were ready to help reinforce the gate if need be, but they are currently protecting Mr. Krieger. And he's walking up in your guys' direction.
I say, Krieger, nice to see you brought the welcome party for me.
Angelica told us of your cowardice.
Cowardice? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Krieger.
And at this point, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and it is, you see the green cloak, and it is Angelica, or Angel. Krieger, please, enough's enough. And I will not be spoken to this way, harlot! Go back to the woods, we need you no longer! And she just kind of just looks away, kind of looks up at you, and gives you a wink, and then keeps walking further in town.
All right, I'm gonna follow.
Okay. You're walking in the direction of Krieger at this point. Marius, what are you doing?
I guess I'm still kind of with Otto.
You are
I guess
currently
we
with
all-
Otto. You do see this exchange happen.
Yeah.
You can stay where you're at. Father Leecher kind of looks over to you. Your friend looks like he might be getting into yet some more trouble, though those wounds do concern me.
Yes, Father. I'm gonna go get these taken a look at, and then I must say, Father Lichta, you were a sight in battle. Were you a war priest?
I was never taken in by the Order of the Hammer, but I fancied myself a shoulder once. And he just
Definitely.
kind of, you get the, go ahead and make an intuition roll for me.
Okay. That's not good. 68 out of 24.
Okay, so
Caught in your bloodlust right now.
Yeah.
You take this at face value. He he's not carrying himself like a hardened veteran of any kind, but the armor looks well used and worn, of course. You've never seen him in armor before. But you take the exchange for what it is, and he just kind of begins walking. I'll be at the temple if you need me, son. And he starts walking further in town towards the temple of Sigmar.
Thank you, Father. Praise Sigma.
Sigmar be with you.
I nod my head. I kind of take the bandages from Otto and say, "Thank you, Otto. I'll go see Sarah right away."
Of course, my boy. Of course. Sarah has her shift at the Thaggy right now, but you never know.
Maybe she'll make an exception for me. And I kind of, I guess it's Seamus kind of going in the same direction as the Thaggy.
Yes,
or
you
is it different direction?
all the major buildings besides Mr. Gold's are towards the same center, the little town center of town. So you all would be heading in the same direction. I would assume you're a little bit distance away from Seamus. He's following Angelica pretty closely. You pass by Krieger, Seamus, and he just kind of huffs. He's like, huh. And then he starts storming ahead of you, almost like you're following him, even though you're not. And he's just kind of walking with like this air of authority, and he starts yelling at people as they make way, make way. As there's a few people milling about, trying to see what's going on at the gate. I'm hoping that nothing too detrimental happened. Though right now, the gate is almost defenseless. There are just a handful of men guarding it. You don't know what could happen at any moment. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you're continuing into town. Krieger will yell back at you, Seamus. The Governor Freeze will need his report, peasant. He expects you immediately. And he just keeps storming off, almost like he doesn't want to hear your response because he knows you're going to be a smartass.
All right. I'll yell out. All right, he knows where to find me. And I want to make my way to the Silver Thaggy.
Oh man. So you turn, so I'm going to say you make it to the town center at this point, and he's like about to go into the governor's mansion with his guards. And you say that, and he kind of, huh! And he turns back, and you've already turned the corner. Just in time for Marius to walk into view. You! Control that beast of yours! The governor demands his presence!
I kind of look shout towards Seamus and be like, Seamus, let's just get this over with.
Alright, fine. Only because I like you.
Thanks, friend. Yes, Master Krieger, we're coming.
Indeed.
And,
At least one of you has some respect. And he turns and enters the mansion. His guards are just they look defeated, and they just kind of stand next to the doorway. They're not even attempting to like move and intercept you. They're too beaten at this point. They just kind of lean against the open doorway.
Okay, I guess we enter the doorway.
Okay. What were you going to say, Seamus?
So I want to walk past one of the guards and just be like, you enjoy working for this prick.
And the guard, he is a soldier. You recognize the colors, very similar to the late Captain Yeager's colors.
Rest in peace.
Rip. Rest in peace, yeah.
Rest in peace, Captain Yeager. He just kind of he doesn't make much of an expression. You see a little bit of a twinge in his neck when you mention working for him, and that's all you see. You see just a little tension, but he doesn't say anything. All right, you guys pass through the decorated, ridiculous garden. That's the front of the entrance to the mansion. Then you get inside. You get into the highly fashionable decorations, the suit of armor in the corner, and Krieger's already up the stairs, going in towards the governor's office. Are you guys following him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets in there first. He slams the doors open, the double doors open with both hands. Governor Freeze, I have brought the ruffians yet again. And he takes a stand next to the governor, motions for you two to sit in the seats you are all too familiar with. Angel has come with you, Seamus. Go ahead, Marius. Yes, she has accompanied you.
Okay.
Does he want me to sit down and I'm covered in blood and
He does.
dust? And
He does. It's Krieger gives no shits. He wants you to sit right now and give report.
All right. I just mean like I'm dirty, so I don't.
Oh
know
yeah,
if
you're filthy. As soon as you walk into view, you see that there's actually a few cuts and bruises on the face of Governor Freeze. It looks like he may have seen some fighting of some kind. The sword at his belt is not the one that you've seen before. It looks like a more proper, functional sword. He has a little bit of leather armor. He's got a leather breastplate on, some bracers. You can see that. It looks like he actually may have done some fighting during this time. The slim, gaunt face, the tired eyes, but he just looks exhausted. And he looks up and he's, by the gods, you returned. And he specifically looks at you, Marius, and he's like, oh, I see you've fared no better than I had hoped.
it was a challenging holiday, sir.
Well, take a seat. Take a seat. We'll get this over quickly.
I take a seat.
Okay. Seamus, yourself?
That's sitting down.
Okay. You sit down and...
Scratches.
Say what?
So are the scratches like noticeable on his face?
On whose face?
On the governor's face.
Yes, they are.
Is he the one that saw action?
Yes, it's definitely noticeable. Without making a test or anything, you can see that there's some dirt on his face where he was completely clean before. It looks like he has actually done something.
As I sit down, I'm gonna say to him, "Just got yourself shaven."
And Freeze will just look up at you. Mr. McCready.
The pristine McCready.
Yes. Yeah, the McCready that... You've got some dirt on you. I mean, you did come through a burning camp.
Sure.
But no blood. Not none of your own, at least. And he just kind of looks up at you. Mr. McCready, how I had wished you had fared worse than Mr. Wolf here. And he just kind of looks over at Marius. I apologize, sir, for this. Sometimes my companions get a little ahead of themselves. And he looks over at Krieger, and Krieger just pretends he doesn't hear anything. He just kind of face turned up, nosed, wide in the air, as if he just didn't hear any of this conversation that just happened. Stalwart as usual. And the governor looks back at you. We have heard Angelica's tale of what happened. Would you perhaps tell us what you might add? And Angelica is in the corner where you first, when you first arrived, where she was originally, when you didn't notice her beforehand. She's taken up residence behind you in that corner.
Governor Freeze, how exactly did that tale go?
Well, Miss Angel here claims that you, along with the late and well-respected Captain Yeager and his men, infiltrated the Beastman camp, whereupon you made battle with the war herd's leader, slayed it in combat, and then that is the last she heard of you.
Marius kind of leans back into the chair, holding his head and his bandages still. Yes, that is the last she saw of us. And
she gives you a little. She gives you a little wink, Marius. She just gives you a little wink.
Marius does not wink back. But yeah, just kind of leans back, as she says, and just kind of waits for Governor Freeze to continue to talk.
Okay. He will look over to Seamus. Mr. McCready, do you have anything to add?
Your man Yeager died a hero.
Oh, nice.
It's a damn shame.
As I am told, he will be mourned. Well, if that's it, how did you escape the camp? I was told it was aflame.
Yes, during the chaos, we managed to escape. Unfortunately, many of the men cannot say the same.
In fact, I would say none of the men can say the same. You are the only men to return from this foyer. An angel kind of... and Krieger looks up. He said men! And she just kind of locks eyes with him and chooses not to say anything. As I was saying, gentlemen, you have proven yourself. You have certainly shown your dedication to this town. I did not expect you to return, to be honest. I had thought you had either fallen to the beasts of the wood or had fled into the night. Seeing as it has been a full day since Angelica has returned, we assumed that the type of men we were dealing with, and he looks specifically at Seamus, their character may have gotten the best of them. And Krieger kind of, yes, the peasant blood as it is, cowards, the lot. And
we just got a little bit lost in the woods. Nothing to worry about.
And The governor freeze holds his hand up to Krieger. Please, sir, would you please step outside? But, and you see Angelica this time walk up to Krieger, and Angelica is about 6 feet tall. She looks down at the little man. I believe the governor asked you to leave, Krieger. And he just kind of, and he like haughtily storms off past you. He specifically goes out of his way to brush past Seamus and try to body check him, even though he's in the chair. And since you're sitting, it's kind of awkward, but you can see him lean down to kind of get that shoulder in there. And then he just haughtily storms out of the office, and you hear the loud thumps that he's purposely slamming his feet on the ground like a small child as he walks downstairs. Apologies, of course. And he reaches under his desk and pulls out a large bottle of wine. You see the label. Neither of you can read, unfortunately. But you see lots of fancy squiggles. And like, you do recognize the emblem, at least, of one of the dukedoms of Bretonia. He uncorks it. Angel, if you would, the glasses. And she, of course, Governor. And she moves over to like a small buffet of sorts, pulls out a drawer, reaches in, pulls out some wine glasses, puts them down, allows the governor himself to pour them, and then she passes wine glasses to both of you.
Seamus is going to play this off as if he knows how to read.
Yes.
When he pulls the bottle out, Seamus is like, that's one of my favorite ones. Quite enjoy that.
I need you. Okay, let me make sure how this works before we do this. Okay, I need you to make a charm roll, Seamus.
Oh, all right. Is that fellowship?
That is fellowship.
Oh, I'm gonna burn a fortune point in my last one.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
That's what I was saving it for.
Okay.
Oh damn! I think I still failed it. I did. I got a 33.
30. How much of a failure is that?
Barely. It was
Barely?
a 31.
Okay. So it's a marginal failure. Actually, Angel looks taken aback. I didn't take you for a man of fine tastes. And
I'm a man of many talents.
Of course. And the governor looks at you, and he just looks straight through you. He knows you're lying. And he just looks at you. He says, "Of course. It's such a fine vintage. From the vineyards of Quinelles, no less." And he's looking for a response. Of course. And he just kind of nods his head knowing that you're full of shit. He just nods his. He doesn't say anything aloud, but and Angelica still she looks impressed that you know what it is. She's like, okay. And she steps back. She takes her own glass and she goes back to where she was before. And drink up, my friends. I'm sorry about the recent events. From what Angel tells me, that should be the last of the herd, at least the largest threats and such. I have gotten word to the company, to the actual men that are running this mine, as of sorts. I am simply a middleman, as you would see. And they have seen aid. They are sending aid to us in some form or way. I'm not sure when they will arrive, but I would expect fresh men, miners, troops of some kind, and it will be business as usual. You have done a great service to the town of Sealberg, no less saved everyone in this small village. You have my thanks and my respect. I do apologize for my actions the other day. I have been under a great deal of stress, as you might be able to imagine, and needless to say, there has been many inexplicable and interesting difficulties in town as of late. If you would forgive me.
Yeah,
Sure.
no harm, no foul.
And he just kind of shakes his head knowingly toward Seamus, and then, thank you, Mr. Wolf.
I nod my head at him and kind of raise my glass towards him.
Okay, and he'll toast to Sealberg, to the Empire, to Jaeger,
To the Empire.
and they'll take you guys all take it. He takes a sip. I'm assuming Seamus probably just downs the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. How about you, Marius?
Marius slowly drinks a fair amount.
Okay,
Doesn't just
He's
down.
not. He doesn't gulp it down. No. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And the governor kind of looks at you, respectful, Seamus, he doesn't have much hopes for this man, for this ruffian. And he places the glass down. So, let's get down to business. You definitely need your wounds tended to, and before we get to that, I have some offers I'd like to make you both, unfortunately, as he looks to Seamus. But Mr. Wolf, I hear from Brandyfoot you've been seeking employment with the mine.
Yes, sir.
I have here, and he unrolls a parchment that he has in his desk drawer. He pulls out 2 pieces of parchment. He unrolls one of them. I have drawn up a contract for the mine, sir, approved by Brandyfoot on a results basis that will see you with guaranteed housing in the barracks if you so choose. A great improvement over your previous lodgings, I am told. And, of
Yes,
course, you will be allowed to trade freely within town and with anyone of a respected nature. We will also guarantee payment on any goods you may bring. And you will be expected to do jobs for the mine.
Very well, sir. Thank you so much.
We'll see if we'll make a miner of you yet, son. For you...
I will see it done, sir.
Yes. For you, Mr. McCready,
Hi.
I have been told much about your family over the past month or so. You are an interesting lot, you McCreadys, what's left of you, that is. You are more than welcome, as he unrolls the parchment, to your family's home. Or should I say, what is left of your family's home. You are, of course, welcome to it, and the land unmolested. I would like to grant it back to you, as it has been deferred and become property of the mining company of Sealberg. However, I will be gifting this back to you. I'm assuming you still know where it is. And I will give you the opportunity to ply your family's trade. For Sealberg, of course.
All right. Sounds like an all right deal.
You will be expected to make payments to the mine, sir, on any tolls collected or goods you may garnish. Other than that, feel free to also take a room in town, if you please, in the mining barracks, or you can stay as you may prefer, out in the woodlands of the dilapidated family abode.
Oh, jeez, you don't have to say it so harsh.
And he just takes another sip of his wine. Gentlemen, I am in your debt. If there's anything else you would like to ask of me, feel free. And he looks to Marius. He's not looking at Seamus.
I'm going to lean over to Marius and kind of whisper with my hand over my mouth, ask him for some armor.
I look towards the governor and say, "Thank you, Governor. I appreciate your demeanor in all of this. It must have been a trying time for you, as it was for us all. May we have your leave?"
Indeed, sir, you may. And should you need a favor, feel free to ask.
I raise my glass once more, finish the wine, and set it on the table, and start to get up to walk out.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
As you guys pass through the doors, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
All right.
All right.
All right. It played out pretty good, I'd have to say. You guys didn't do bad. Well, you almost died.
Yeah.
But
I almost died in one hit.
you
He hit me hard in Tarkak.
He did. Yeah, he did. That's all I can say. He rolled really well on that hit.
I can tell.
Yeah. So that happened, but you're alive. You're alive. You got some. You guys got some items. You may have a favor in town. You have employment. You have lodgings.
Got employment. We got lodging.
And you guys have officially completed your first adventure. A monumentous occasion. You'll be getting extra XP for this for completion. And,
nice.
We'll divvy that out later. But did you guys have fun? I hope.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I got real nervous with that Minotaur.
It was getting pretty close. It was getting pretty close. I feel like you probably had it. You had him down to 1 hit point. That's all he had left. He had 1 wound left. And Father Leiter finished him off. I'm sorry. But it was awesome. It was in a blaze of glory. So
it was awesome.
Thank you guys for playing. And I'll go ahead and just close this out. I have been Jumbo Thick, guys. You have watched Rise of the Forsaken. And we will be doing this. We're trying to do it once a week, maybe once every 2, depending on schedules. We do, of course, make mistakes, as has been pointed out a few times. So it happens. We err on the side of fun, but things will happen. Mistakes will be made. We're only human. We're learning, though. We are learning. As usual, guys, I've been Jumbo Thick. Thank you as your GM. I'd like to say thank you to my players, Mr. Smooth, Mr. Doobie. Thank you guys for playing. And, of course, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, that's about it. So, is there anything else you'd guys like to say, actually, now before I actually close it out completely?
No, it's been fun. You've been doing a great job. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
It's been a good job DMing, and thank all the people that have watched these videos and keep watching them.
Okay. Yeah, we will continue the campaign. It's going to keep going, even though this is the end of the first adventure. There will still be more to come, so don't think that it's ending just yet. So I have been Jumbo Thick. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.